Excellent. So, as I set up a few things here for people to join us as they want, welcome to this session. This is an orientation session that is meant to give you a lowdown on what to expect in the Good Food Network this month. So, I'm your holistic nutrition practitioner. Good morning. Good morning. I am Luca Simmons, and I've been doing this work since 2014 when I graduated from CSNN here in Calgary. I raise my morning cuppa to you. Hopefully your morning cup of joe is coming after your breakfast. Those are the kinds of things that we cover in the Good Food Network. What kind of stuff do we cover in the Good Food Network? So I'm doing this session for two reasons. Number one, it is to give a crash course or a tour, really, of what is on offer for the Good Food Network this month, because it changes every month. Some months, there's more that changes. This month is a smaller change. We're staying on the same topic of heart health. And so a lot of this, if you've been in the network for the month of July, the month of August is going to look very similar, but there are some new parts, and I will highlight what those are. This also serves as a sort of like a peek behind the doors of what's on offer in the Good Food Network. So first things first, hi, welcome. At any point, if you want to join us in the Good Food Network, the door is always open. You get instant access as soon as you sign up. And it's set up as a subscription service, which means the day you sign up is the day you have access to that content, and you will for an entire month after that day. So if you join on the 15th of August, say, you will have access from the 15th of August to the 14th of September. It automatically renews, which means if you want out after 1 month, you have to let me know 2 days before it renews so that I have enough time to go behind the scenes and do all of the work. So at any point, you get to skedaddle. I have a few folks who actually said, I need August off. I need to take the pressure off, and I'm coming back in September. Sounds good to me. So that's the kind of thing it is. You get to build it to be as long as you need, and it is set up as a way for you to help yourself. Who's the Good Food Network for? The Good Food Network is for those who want to help themselves, those who feel motivated enough and are curious to go poke around to content to better cement their own knowledge on how food and nutrition can be of service, regardless of what your health issue is. I'll tell you, my work this is the secret. Spoiler alert, it's all the same thing. Everyone gets the same stuff, because what is driving chronic disease is inflammation and metabolic stuff that isn't working well. When we address reducing inflammation and supporting the metabolism to improve, now we actually reduce all of the things, whether it's heart and cardiovascular and stroke issues, which is what we're covering this month, or whether it is constipation, which is what we're looking at in September, whether it is sleep and brain stuff that we're looking at further in the fall, whether it is thyroid stuff or gut stuff or autoimmune conditions or histamine issues. The work is always the same. The only one that differs a little bit is histamine. And when it comes to histamine, I put in if you have histamine issues, do this instead in everything that I do. So the network is set up for anybody who's looking to self-propel their own health journey, and for anybody who may actually have complex or complicated health journeys that feels like histamine might be a part of the picture. At any point, before you come into the network, you can book in to chat with me to see if it's a fit for you. It doesn't cost you anything. So we chat about what's on offer and to see if it might be a fit for you. And if you need some help figuring out if you have histamine issues, that's what you book in for. So in all of this, if you're watching the replay of this video, there will be a few links below. Let me make a note of what I'm doing, because otherwise I'll forget. So your first link is going to be to join the Good Food Network. That's obvious. The second one is going to be for what I call a discovery call. Discovery call is a 15-minute chat, and we talk whatever you want to talk about. And then we cover what it is so that by the end of it, we can start to lay down what a map of where to go for you might be. And I will not be telling you to go to HE double hockey sticks. Okay. So we are talking about heart all month long in the Good Food Network. So I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to take you through what the network looks like, and we'll do that first. Actually, we'll do that second, because first You need to know whether or not the Good Food Network is good for you or not. So if you are already in the network and you're hoping for the tour part, fast forward a little bit. I will put a link to the tour start. I have to write down everything I say I'm going to do because I'll forget. Okay. First of all, these are my top 10 ways that it shows up in the body if your body is asking for support when it comes to cardiovascular health. These are the top 10 ways, and I put the more severe ones at the top because it's very obvious to me, but it might not be obvious to everyone on the second one. First one, have you ever had a heart attack? You need to support your cardiovascular system. Heck yeah. First of all, regardless of what's driving it. Food is one of those really beautiful slow movers that when done consistently can actually be part of the medicine you need. Second, this might surprise you. Have you ever had a stroke? Further to this, is there a history of strokes or heart attacks in your family? The fourth major one that I see in clients, and this is the one that really calls to me that we need to support the cardiovascular system, is plaque buildup or the thickening of the arteries. The actual title, the term of it is called atherosclerosis. That's a fun word to bandy about at parties. You seem really intelligent when you say it. Atherosclerosis. Practice it a few times before you go to the party so it can roll off your tongue. What else? High or low blood pressure. Both are equally not awesome for the heart. Cholesterol issues. Cholesterol issues tend to show up in the heart and cardiovascular system, but they are not because there's a problem. Well, yeah, I guess there's an issue in the cardiovascular system, but it's not the cardiovascular system that's wrong. The cardiovascular system is mounting a protective detail. We have to do the work to figure out why your body is making excess cholesterol. And we tie it to the cardiovascular system, but I'll tell you, it's a metabolic issue. Yep. Cholesterol is a metabolic issue. So we tie in metabolism all month long here on the Good Food Network. Aneurysms. If you've ever had an aneurysm, if the integrity of your blood vessels is not robust and strong, then that is another way that we can come in and support the cardiovascular system. Blood clotting issues, whether you clot too much or not enough. It impacts your cardiovascular system, but I'll tell you it's an issue elsewhere. Either the liver or the microbiome or both. Could also be genetics. Do you struggle with fatigue? Fatigue can be one, especially if it's debilitating fatigue where like, I can't even. You know how the kids say, I can't even. Or the whole concept of spoons. How many spoons do you have to spend for the day? And are most days a 2-spoon day where it feels like everyone else has 75? Yeah. Type 2 diabetes. Wait, Luca, type 2 diabetes is not a cardiovascular issue. Au contraire, mon frère. The issues that show up in the cardiovascular system are tied, a lot of them are tied to blood sugar imbalances. When you have type 2 diabetes, I think the number is something like 1/3 of those who have type 2 diabetes will succumb to some type of heart failure event, actually because of plaque buildup, or strokes. What is driving plaque buildup, which also pumps up your blood pressure, or strokes? What's behind that? Blood sugar balancing issues. What are blood sugar balancing issues? What do they look like? Type 2 diabetes. What do they look like before type 2 diabetes? They look like metabolic syndrome. Before that, they look like you get hangry and you have cravings, and sometimes you can't function and you just have really big emotions. Even just doing that just sort of sets me off, which tells you I'm susceptible to it. Guess who this whole month is for? Cardiovascular issues run in my family. Yeah, cardiovascular issues have an absolute inflammation at the root and blood sugar balancing issues and the damaging impacts of those two, actually, which brings in free radical damage. But don't worry, we covered that in the network. So those are the top 10 ways to know if you have heart issues. I will tell you other ways. There's more than the 10. Those are the top 10. Have you ever had heart failure? Do you have heart valve issues? Do you have a thickening of your arteries? Well, I guess we've sort of talked about that. Varicose veins. Yeah, varicose veins is an indicator that there's some stuff in the blood and circulatory system that's not working well. arrhythmias or heart palpitations. That's a histamine thing. Intéressant, chronic venous insufficiency or deep vein thrombosis. Those are two very specific diagnoses that if you have, well, I think it's pretty obvious. It's impacting your veins. Your veins are part of your cardiovascular system. Ding, ding, ding. Blood issues, peripheral arterial disease, coronary artery disease, congestive heart failure, pulmonary embolism, really terrible. Pulmonary embolism is when there's a blood clot in the lungs. No, you don't want that. If you find yourself fainting quite a bit, and if you have leaky gut issues, you are at a high, if you have any kind of digestive stuff or leaky gut, which if it means if you have chronic disease, autoimmune conditions, histamine issues, I do wonder how the state of your gut is. If you have any kind of IBS or ulcerative colitis or Crohn's colitis, those types of impacts on your intestinal tract, that has a really big potential in driving some of the markers that drive cardiovascular issues due to the porousness or the leakiness at the gut. So it's so interesting to me. It's all connected. To me, I think the cardiovascular and your circulatory system is a place where symptoms show up. And so the issue is happening there, but the root of it is never in the cardiovascular system. It becomes a really big truck. My neighbor is rebuilding his house. So there's a lot of construction on the street and my window's open because it's summer. So too bad. But the heart and cardiovascular system is on the receiving end of things not working well earlier on in the chain of events. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's everything that we're doing this month in the Good Food Network. It's everything we did in the month of July. What I want to do next, so the tour start is right about now. So I'm going to write this down. Okay, so that I can find it easily so that those who are watching the replay can find the tour start time. Let's take you for a tour of the network. First things first, when you sign up, I'm going to show you two things. How do I share screen? There we go. First things first, in order to join the live, the Good Food Network, I will put this page in here and you will get access to this whole page. Now, there is a full rundown on the network here. So if you've been contemplating joining us for the network, we're shifting things up in September a little bit. I'm taking August to rebuild this. But the full rundown of the network takes you through with a bunch of questions you can ask yourself. How do I know if the Good Food Network might be a good fit for me? And these are ways to know if this is for you. If you keep scrolling down, you see here, how do I know if the Good Food Network might not be right for me at this time? And this will help you decipher if this is perhaps not the time for you. The cost right now is $55 a month. It's billed monthly on the same day you originally joined. When you're ready, you click here and you can join the network. Okay. Every month, I always update my page also so that you have what is on offer for the month. Let me take you through what that looks like. So once you get into the network, because we do have one new person this month joining us in the network so far that I know of, and we may have more by the end of today. So when you join, the few things to know is that you have your upcoming sessions right here, and it outlines when those live sessions are, because that's the deal. The Good Food Network has three components, has live sessions that happen, you know, like in the 1980s when you watched The Cosby Show on Thursday nights. I know The Cosby Show is a terrible example. It's a great show while it was going on. I hate all the business that happened behind the scenes. Let me be very clear. Anyway. Luca, stop getting political. So the live stuff is kind of like live network TV would have been in the 80s. As the world turns, you know, whatever, like pick your show that you liked in the 80s. Then we also have on-demand content, which means it's like the current day and age of like, I want to watch this right now, press start. On-demand content. And we also have printed content. So I'll take you through what each section looks like, each of the three sections, but they're all built with different ideas in mind, each of those sections, because they will fuel you in different ways. Some people pick and choose and will not see everything, and that's fine. In fact, that's what I recommend. I serve the Good Food Network as a buffet. So you are instructed to take what you want on your plate and then to bless it and get on with it. You're not supposed to put the entire buffet. When you go to the buffet with your family, do you take everything that's under the glass? Do you shove everything that's on offer on your plate? No, you don't. You leave some for others. Well, I mean, you can totally take everything off the buffet table if you want in this scenario. But really, when you go to the buffet, you're only picking and choosing what fits for you, what you're looking for, and what you like. It's the same thing with a network. So our live sessions are always right here. And when you want to join it, you can see it adjusts for your own time. So for our honeys who are perhaps out east, because I know we have a few, then this will readjust to your time in your area of the country. When it comes to that time, you can click on the little camera here, and that takes you to the live call or that live session. As soon as the live session wraps up, this whole session, this whole link disappears. So it's always up to date with your most up to date, like next session. So as soon as we wrap up this session, this one's going to disappear, and it'll look like I don't have anything until Thursday, August 3rd at 7 a.m. So there we go. Oh, yeah, who cares about that? So on this homepage, once you log in, 2 things to know. This button here up top left actually takes you to your homepage every time. And when you scroll down, you see my programs, GF Network, Good Food Network. That's what you click on, and it takes you right to the program. I'm going to maximize my window because that works a lot better on Practice Better. Practice Better is the hub where I deliver all of my content. So here, you can see we've got a couple of different sections. So as long as you have your cursor on top of this area, you'll be able to scroll down. I'll tell you, in Practice Better, learning how to scroll is important. It's very easy to scroll. I think you're a pretty smart cookie. I think you can figure out to keep scrolling. It's very obvious when you get to the end, it doesn't scroll anymore. So you've got all of your content here. These are called the modules. You know you're on modules because you're highlighted here on the modules. So you have these guys here. You have your live sessions. You have your pre-recorded content, which is like the on-demand. And then down here, you have the written content. So those are the 3 sections of the Good Food Network. If we go just above these 3 sessions or these 3 types, you have the administrative stuff here. And this is where I want to start with. So Start Here Kitten is where you start if you're new to the network. So this is an orientation of how to move about the network and what kinds of moving pieces you'll need. It has a description. Oh, it has a replay of the orientation call, which we're doing right now. It has the different moving parts. So it explains a little bit on what you can expect in each of our 3 sessions. So you have the live sessions, you have the pre-recorded sessions, and then you have the written content. So there's a write-up for each of those sections to know what's on offer. So make sure you hit that area first. It's very clearly marked Start Here Kitten. So you better start there. Okay. After that, I want you to go to the schedule and checklist. So here is where you can see what it is that we're doing for this month. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Oh, I can zoom in. Good. Sometimes I don't know if it works. So here we are zooming into the month schedule. So there's a printable version just below it. I always print it up and I always keep it beside my computer so that I know what's happening when, because I need to show up. If I don't show up, then it's a problem. So for me, this really makes sense to print it up. You might not want to print it up. It's up to you. But this tells you the live content only. Your live content, we have a session, at least 1 session a week. Every Thursday morning at 7 a.m., we have something called the Food as Medicine sessions. And I put the titles of what it is we're going to be touching on that day. They're about 20 to 30 minutes, somewhere in there, typically around 25. So we're talking about cholesterol that first week, free radical damage second week, 3 best foods for your heart in the third week, 3 things to balance your blood pressure. And then that last week, we'll talk about lifestyle tips, the best lifestyle tips for heart health. Oh, it's funny. Should say best, not 3est. Pretend it says best. Obviously, I need an editor. Okay. So those are the Thursday morning sessions. Those are early, and they're meant to be early so that those who work 9 to 5 might be able to have their breakfast, come and join us so that you can participate in one of the live sessions. There's always a Q&A afterwards. So I save the recorded stuff of that one session so you can watch it if you can't join live. But if you want to stick around and ask any questions, that's a good time to make sure you come and join us. In addition to that, we have the orientation call, which we're doing right now. Look at that. It's the first. It's just past 9 a.m. Welcome to August, PS. We have 2 weekly office hours, and those are happening on the 8th and 22nd of this month. They're at noon on a Tuesday. If you're able to join us, it's a really great resource. And if you've ever been a client of mine, these are our discovery calls, or not our accountability calls. This is when we have a one-on-one call. So for example, last week, I had a weekly office hours, only one person showed up. It turned into a full 1-hour consult for her, which she paid the $55 for the network and had a full hour to herself, plus all the other content. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm just letting you know it's really worth it to sign up for the weekly office hours or to sign up for the network, because you get a one-on-one full hour with me, because not many people show up. That's the piece that's changing in September, PS. Anyway, this is the Tuesday things. Then we have one live class every month in addition to these 2 things. We have a class happening on the morning of Wednesday, the 23rd, and that's going to be reclaiming ancestral food for heart health. Ancestral wisdom as well can be worked into it. I mean, I've called it both. I need to really stick to it. But you know what I'm talking about. So that's going to be happening on the Wednesday at 9 a.m. Now, all of these live sessions are recorded, so you can always access the replay for each of these. The only one that doesn't have a replay is the weekly office hours, if it's only one person that shows up, because they get their answers in that hour. I don't record it. If somebody cannot make those weekly office hours because it's real, you cannot take time off at work, I get it, then you send your questions in beforehand, and then I will answer them over the course of that office hour. I record it, and then I upload it for everyone to have access to in the network. So that's how you use this guy. So when you first, after you do the Start Here Kitten module, you go to the schedule and checklist for August. And then you see the schedule here. You can print your own version. You'll download to your computer and print it. And then to help it make a little bit more sense, there's also a checklist. This is just the visual here, but you've got the printable version down here. Just download to your computer. So here is the checklist. So I encourage you to actually print this guy up. When you print this guy up, it's a full pager, and it helps you prioritize how you want to move through the network. So what I would encourage you to do, once you print it up, make sure you check out this month's schedule and you print it. Once it's done, check mark or cross it off or do whatever feels good. Everybody loves that feeling of completion. So these are all the potential modules you can access. I will take you through where to find all of these in a minute, but these are all the different moving parts of the Good Food Network. It can feel overwhelming when you come in at first glance, but I will tell you, this is how you make sense of it. So first things first, okay, I'm new in the Good Food Network this month. I don't really know what I want to look at. Luca, what's a good highlight that I should start with? You know what you should start with? Is this Vitality Heart class. The Vitality, I can't highlight. Sometimes I can. The Vitality Heart class is that full 2-hour class. It's broken down into 13 parts that you can watch at your own leisure. It's on demand, so it's pre-recorded. You can access as often as you want over the course of the month. This is where you'll get the biggest bang for your buck, the most dense content to help you understand what's going on in the cardiovascular system when there are issues. If you have cholesterol issues, you watch this class. If you have blood pressure issues, you watch this class. If you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, honey, you watch this class. If you have a history of cardiovascular disease, you watch this class. I have this class as a standalone class. The cost of it is the same as the network. So I'm just saying, do you want lifetime access to it? Or do you want to light a fire under your butt and watch it this month and pay the same amount and get extra things where you can print more recipes and other things? I'm saying the network is worth your while. Yeah, you start with the Vitality Heart class. Other things that are on the go. So other on-demand stuff. You have the Real Food Reset video, which is called Go Sprouted. We learn how to sprout and why sprouting nuts, beans, seeds, grains, and legumes are important. It's a half-hour class. We have a scratch cooking class as well, where we're learning how to make salads. So you have access to a 90-minute cooking class every month. So this month, we're diving into how to make salads. We talk about how to build salads. We talk about how to make a good salad dressing, how to dress a salad. We talk about how to reuse or to repurpose leftovers into salads. We talk about the evolution salads. Evolution salads it's my favorite thing. It's a Jamie Oliver thing, where you start with a few simple ingredients and you can stop at any stage of the 4 stages. So, for example, in the class, we do an evolution carrot salad, I think. We did this like 3 years ago. Anyway, carrots, and then you add a few different things and you make it a carrot salad. Do you want to add crunch? Add this. So you can take it as far along as you want of the evolution of the recipe, or you could stop at any stage. So I love this idea of an evolution salad. These classes are meant to help you become a cook from the hip kind of person, less reliant on recipes. So the salads class is applicable to everyone, whether you have histamine issues, maybe you're vegan or vegetarian, maybe you just like real food, maybe you are going gluten-free, maybe you have a paleo approach. This is just real food, and there are options for everyone. And by this, I mean everyone. Luke, I can't do eggs. Then we have options for you. But Luke, I can't do tomatoes. We have options for you. Like, we talk options all the time. All right. Now we get into the live stuff. So there's a live food is medicine classes on Thursday mornings. When you cannot join them live, you can watch the replays in the module. Those are all new this month. There's a live class this month on August 23rd. I got to change that. Okay, I'm going to update that in the module today, but this should say August 23rd. It's called Reclaiming Ancestral Wisdom for Heart Health. It's going to be ancestral foods. I'm also going to change that on the checklist. I had 2 weeks of holidays this month, so I was a bit rushed in doing things. All right, so this is happening on August 23rd. This will say 23rd by the time you get there. We have recipes every month. So now we're into the printable stuff. There's 5 recipes every month. So I'll show you where those are. There is a handout that helps you get aligned with the seasons. Part of the wisdom is to help your body know where you are in time and place. When your body knows where you are in time and place, so many regulatory and cyclical things in the body recalibrate. Part of that is eating with the seasons. Part of that I talk about on occasion about getting outside in the sun in hour 1 of your day. These types of things are the life hacks that you can rotate through the year. And after a while, you see the rhythm and the wisdom of things. And this whole eating with the seasons, I can't think of a better way to reinsert ourselves into the natural world. That's how we do it. It feels like there's gargantuan pieces to this network, but they are small, doable tasks that you stack one on top of the other, and you just work at consistency. So that's what's on offer in the network this month. 2 more pieces. We have a weekly Good Food Challenge, which I do on the socials every week. We flesh it out with more ideas and recipes in the network. So there's a bit more support around that in the network. And then we have those bi-weekly office hours. So twice in the month, we'll have that Tuesday, 12 noon, where you can join us, catch replays if you cannot, and you have a question, and make sure you get it into me, and I'll make sure we record it for you. So this checklist, I want you to download to your computer, print it up if you're in the network this month, and then use that as your compass to get through the month. All right. Now I want to go back to my module. So that's one of the modules. What you can do when you're done, by the way, for those who are going to join us in the network, you mark completed because you've printed them and you're ready to go, so that when you go back to my program, because the Good Food Network is a program, it says, oh, I've completed this module. I've already printed them up. So it helps you keep track so you don't have to, did I look at this piece yet? I need to go back in and check it out. Once you've gone through a module, mark it completed. You can still access it. You could still view it. Don't worry. It's still there. And if you lose your printed copy, you can go ahead and print it again. But you've already marked it completed. So you know that you've done that piece. You don't need to go back again. Okay. Now we have a whole module on the heart. So this is very similar to what I started with, how to know if you have any cardiovascular issues. Who could benefit with nutrition from a heart and cardiovascular point of view? If you say yes to at least one of these, now these are the ones I just ran through at the start of our video. These are all potential indicators that your heart and cardiovascular system is having a hard time and it's requesting help. So this is the work of what the network proposes. So once you join the network, come into this one to understand why when we address with nutrition, why it's actually going to reduce those symptoms. So we tie in the work of the network into what it's going to do for you. And we tell you where to start. So there you go. I present a smorgasbord, a buffet built around the concept of abundance. So we can let go of that not enough or feeling of lack that can drive the stress response, while also inviting you to become the gatekeeper for yourself. When you become that gatekeeper and you say, I'm only going to fill my plate 3 times this month, that is part of the work in reducing the overwhelm, because you are now taking charge of your own health. So many layers to how I've built this. There's a psychological aspect to it. Yeah. Once you've done that one, you mark completed. Ding, 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 mark completed. Confirm I read it all and I feel smarter. That's what you do. All About Your Network subscription is the administrative stuff about the network subscription. If you have any questions about it, or you're thinking, August, I'm taking off for 3 weeks to Italy. I don't want to pay for the month subscription, Luca. I want to cancel it. Then you're going to find out how to do that in this module. Now, let's start first with that. Well, I suppose the administrative section is your first section. Let's go into the live stuff. So you have 3 live things that happen every month. The biweekly office hours, which are those Tuesdays. In this module, you will see when there is a replay. That's where the link is. The second one is our Food as Medicine on heart. These are the Thursday morning modules. So when you get into this module, they're always 7 a.m. on Thursday mornings, typically. Sometimes I have to move it to a different time if I'm picking someone up from the airport, for example. Food as Medicine topics we're covering in August. So those are the Thursday morning sessions. These are the topics we're covering. So if you know that one of these, for example, if you're joining our network today on August 1st, and you're like, I totally have cholesterol troubles. That's actually where I'm going to start. What a great idea. Why don't you come live on Thursday morning? These Thursday sessions, we go into more brief content, and then we get into 3 solutions. In each of these, there's always 3 starting solutions offered so that you can be practical about it. I am very practical and very action-driven. So if you have cholesterol issues, you join us. If you have long-term impacts on your cardiovascular system, you need to better understand that free radical damage piece and what to do to prevent it or to even reverse it. Yes, you can reverse some of this. This is the session you want to come to. So highlight the ones that are going to be important to you. If you can, join live. If not, I want you to check the replay. The replay is posted after I do the live, like about an hour after we wrap up. So it's always there. And I'll show you how to know, like I actually notify people to know that it's there. And I'll show you how to keep track of what's been updated. All right, so we have all of these 3 best foods for your heart, 3 best things to do to balance your blood pressure. If you have elevated blood pressure, this is the one you want to come to. And lifestyle tips for heart health. So these are the 5 sessions in August on Thursday mornings. The replays, keep scrolling. Remember I said go scroll? So keep scrolling. Once the replay is available, you'll click on this and it will link out to the video replay. It's that easy. Week 2 replay. There's the topic. Week 3 replay topic. When's it going to be ready? Luca, I need help. It's all there. Week 3 and week 4 and week 5. Awesome. That's your Thursday morning sessions. Let's go back to our modules. So we were in the live sessions. I just took you through the Food as Medicine, which are our Thursday morning sessions. We have that live class, Reclaim Ancestral Food for Heart Health. So this is happening. Oh, here we go. Reclaim Ancestral Foods for Heart Health. This is happening Wednesday, August 23rd on Zoom. You can join us live if you're in the network. People can also purchase this class by itself. It's $25. So I will make sure that I have that link as well under the Reclaim link. So that'll be link number 3 in the write-up on the YouTube channel and the Facebook replay. So if you're in the network, you're automatically added to the class. You don't even have to do anything. So that's happening on the 23rd of this month. You get the replay as well if you can't join us live. So then once the replay is available on the 23rd, it'll all be updated here. And then there'll be handouts and recipes included here as well. So those are the 3 pieces in your live component. So this means it's happening in real time and you can join us. Now, there's also pre-recorded content, right? The live stuff is what's on your schedule, like what is outlined on this guy. Now, you also have pre-recorded content. Pre-recorded content means on demand. What do we have on demand this month? You have 3 things to choose from. A module on going sprouted, a 2-hour class on the heart, Vitality Heart, and then you have a 90-minute cooking class on salads. So you can take your time through these. They will all disappear at the end of August. So if you're new to the network this month, you have a month to go through these. If you've been in the network for July and August, the only new one this month is the scratch cooking class for salads. It was eggs last month. So you still have the same access. Just get to it before they disappear at the end of August. So the Real Food Reset was a program I ran a long time ago. So this is one of the modules. It's a 30-minute, 40-minute video on why going sprouted is important, what it does to the body. Then we have a vitality class, 2 hours on the heart. I just built this class. It is not available to anyone else yet. It is only available to the network folks. So here, the goals are, you're going to understand how your heart and cardiovascular system function, all the moving pieces, the role that inflammation and stress play in your cardiovascular system. You're going to make that heart-gut connection and why this is actually the missing piece. And we're going to work at identifying those foods that are tools to nourish the heart and which ones hinder. And we'll do those food and lifestyle hacks to optimize this work. You get, I think, 5 strategies at the end of this one. Yeah. There's your handout. You get a couple of recipes in there. And then you've got all the videos. Now, there's lots of videos. There's 13, as a matter of fact. So as you keep scrolling, you'll go through all 13. Your handout helps you keep track of where you are. So you don't have to do it all in one sitting. Once you've finished all of those videos, then you can mark completed because it feels good. Because this is a monster of a module. Because it's a 2-hour class. Oh, look, I completed my heart class already. Vitality Heart. Oh, way to go me. I also get notification when you finish it. So it feels really nice to know that you're engaging with the content. Good work. It also lets me know what people are really interested in. And that vitality class is actually one of the highlights that people get into. So we also have a 90-minute cooking class. It's my daughter and I that did this class a couple of years ago at the beginning of the pandemic. We had a junior high cooking elective on Friday afternoons at her junior high school at the time. And we spent every Friday with 72 kids. Well, they were all in their own homes. And we recorded it for good measures. And so I repackaged it. And now we have it as part of the network. And it is such a fun class. We get together with a bunch of teenagers. My husband is laughing in the background. The dog is barking throughout. Our friend Jack came by and helped us out sometimes, who was a teacher at the school at the time as well. Anyway, we learn how to build salads. So this is I can't think of how perfect it is for the summer season. So that's your pre-recorded content. That's the on-demand, the Netflix or Prime or Disney Plus or Apple TV things, right? Where it's like, I want to watch it right now. Start. Now, last but certainly not least, we have the written content, and we have 3 sections here. So each of these sections has 3 parts to it. We have 3 different things happening in the network: live, pre-recorded, written. Each of those has 3 as well. So I like the number 3. We're 3 in my family. It feels right. We have the recipes of the month. You can also just subscribe to the recipes. I have these recipes are part of my subscription service for recipes. So if you're in the network, you get the recipes for free. So your link number 4 below is going to be if you want to subscribe to just the recipes. It's $5 a month for the recipes. Yeah. Recipes for the month of August. This is what you've got. Kale chips. I've got a batch that just wrapped up in the dehydrator. I can't wait to go see how they are. Fish with fennel and nigella. Fish is the original fast food. Sheet pan dinner for the heart, because we're focusing on the heart this month. Your fiery fermented hot sauce and your breakfast soup. Yeah, breakfast soup. is kind of a breakfast a couple times a week for me when it is late summer, because I just don't even want to turn on the oven yet, or stovetop, anything. So we've got a couple of different versions here for those who need different things. I have some lower histamine options here for those who need it. So we make it a little bit easier for histamine folks in the network. Yeah, a little bit easier. Those are your recipes. So they are new every month. So make sure if you're new this month, or if you've been in the network in July, these are brand new for August. So go and make sure you print them. Weekly challenge for August. This is the weekly food challenge. So on the socials, we do a weekly food challenge. For example, this week it's Swiss chard. So on social network, I will tell you, this is why it's really good. Go ahead and work it in. What we do in the network is you get a link out to watch the same video, which is on Instagram, PS. But then I give you ideas on how to cook it up. So here, for example, we've got a gluten-free tortilla pie that my dad makes in a cheesecake pan. So we take 3 round rice papers, it's gluten-free, guys, and then you layer it with meat and sauce and minced Swiss chard and cheese, and you just make a lasagna sort of thing, or a tortilla pie, my dad calls it. And then you bake it in the oven. So you don't even need a recipe. It's kind of just a how-to there. Yeah. And then as the weeks go by, we also have the earlier challenges that get banked down here so that you can have access to them and find them with ease is the idea. So this is the weekly food challenge. Now let's go back to the written content. You have one last piece, eating with the seasons. Every season, so we're shifting this up in September, we do a whole section on eating with the seasons. Aligning ourselves with the seasons is one of the ways to help our bodies know where we are in time and place. When you eat seasonally, your body, depending on the cues it's getting from your environment, is prepped to digest certain foods. We are made to digest fresh stone fruit and berries in the summer months because the light information our body gets tells us to prioritize the microbiome strains that really zoom in on the foods that are available in that season. We've evolved over millennia to do this. When you start to eat along with the seasons, this is one of the really big movers to restoring health at the gut level. When you get outside in the sun in hour 1, when you start to eat along with the seasons, you're focusing on the foods that are in abundance in that season. And the light that you're getting from the outside world is helping your microbiome select the strains that are going to feast and do really well on the foods available in that season. When we eat in season, when we eat traditionally what was in season from the land where you live, now we're better able to digest, and we make it a little bit better for the body to function day to day. We help reset all of those metabolic health pieces. So how do you eat with the seasons? I don't know how to do it, Luca. Oh, yeah, you do, because you're in the network, aren't you? So this gives you the rundown of what that handout looks like. I'm just going to go briefly through it, but it gives you a whole list of foods to focus on. These are the foods that are in season right now. And these are the foods that do really well to also support the heart. Then we've got a whole section here on superfoods, teas, roots, and shoots, herbs and spices, ways to think about moving through the season, foods to focus on, the main organ for the season, the main energy of the season, which can give you things to think about, and then 5 things to think about for this particular season. So these are all meant to help you explore how to align with the seasons. And we've got a little bundle of a couple more recipes to focus in on summer eats. So that's also in the network. Do you see how there are so many moving parts? This is why it feels overwhelming when you first start, but I wanted to take you through each of those sections. The reason I want to take you out into each of those sections is that when you print up your checklist, once you join us, now you'll know, oh, that eating with the seasons, I'm so intrigued. I'm going to start there. So once you print up that checklist, there is a check mark box for each of those items, but use the little space on the left to organize the order in which you want to attack these, if you will. If you know that I already know how to make salads, because salads is going to be the last one. So make that one number 10. The eating with the seasons was really interesting to me. I want to make sure that's number 1. Lucas said I should probably do that Vitality Heart class. Okay, I'll make that I'll make it number 3 because it feels like it's going to be a really big job. I need something easier first. I'm going to print up my recipes, make that number 2, and so on and so forth. And so you can decide the order in which you want to do these. And part of that work, when you start to take charge of your own health and you become the gatekeeper, this is how we reduce the overwhelm. And this is how we reinstate that sovereignty piece where you're in charge, not me. I will offer you an abundance. I'm trying to mimic what nature's doing this year. Have you looked outside? Have you looked to see how nature is in abundance with certain things this year? I find the fleabane daisy is in abundance this year, and I'm sitting with it, and I'm trying to figure out why. Last year, it felt like salsify was actually in abundance, so I don't know what salsify was about. I think it was about dreaming and setting seeds, anyway, that's a talk for another day. So this is how you move through the network. Which of those pieces do you want to prioritize? I really think that Vitality Heart class is important, and printing up recipes, because these are the things you can come back to time and again. They are perfect for the season. They are perfect to support the heart. If you know you have cholesterol issues, plaque buildup, if you have varicose veins, if you have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or a family history of cardiovascular disease, come into the network. Come into the network and know that you will be seen, you will be supported. We can tailor this to be exactly what it is you need. And we'll do that with those Tuesday office hour sessions. It's the last month we're running them. I'm taking them out in September. Yeah, that's how we move through the times, friends. So that's what's all on offer in the Good Food Network this month. If you're watching this on Facebook, I want you to jot your questions. If you have any questions below, I will put in 4 links once I wrap up this section. We're going to put a link to join the Good Food Network. We're going to put link number 2 to book in with a 15-minute free chat with me. That's if you're not sure if the network is for you and you have some questions. Or if you're thinking, well, I don't really want the whole network. I really just want that 2-hour heart class, Luca. Okay, book in for a free call and I'll give you the link. I'm going to do a link out to that Reclaiming Ancestral Foods for Heart Health link, if you just want to take that class. And then the recipe subscription, if you want just the recipes. So if I've piqued your interest with any of this, know that at the Good Food Network, at the core of it is I'm building it, but I'm building it according to what it is people want and people need. So it's the kind of place where you can always say, hey, I need more support with this, or I'm overwhelmed and I don't know where to start. There's a place to book in for a chat if you need it. So at any point, if you cannot find that link, you just reach out and you say, I'm really confused. Can I get a tour, a private tour? Yeah, we'll set it up. So that's what we're doing this month in the Good Food Network. Are you going to join us? I'm going to tell you this is a good month to join because there is a lot of really good content, and August happens to be a longer month. There's even more on offer than there usually is, so you get a good value for your dollar. The cost is $55 for the whole month. So you get to join from the day you join. If you join on the 3rd of August, you'll have access until the 2nd of September. And I change all my content on the 1st of the month, so you can go and print up the recipes and things in the new month of September if you're only going to be with us for a month. I'm just saying. Okay, pals. I look forward to crossing paths in the Good Food Network. It is there for you as a smorgasbord. Are you hungry? Come eat. We'll see you again. Salut, à bientôt.